He opened closed doors for me, doors I'm unable, just unable to see. That's why I know King Jesus will roll all the burdens away. All the way, all the way, all the way. King Jesus will roll the burdens away if to him you pray. Because he opened closed doors for you, doors you're unable to see. That's why I know King Jesus will roll these burdens away. Just like a king on his throne, he never leave you alone. That's why I know King Jesus will roll the burdens away. All the way, all the way, all the way. King Jesus will roll your burdens away if to him you pray. He open closed doors for you, doors I'm unable to see. That's why I know King Jesus will roll your burdens away. Evil, evil, he turns it well, times and times again. For there's not one broken vessels that God can't mend. He'll pick up your pieces time and times again. For there's not one broken vessel, not one broken vessel that God can't mend. Here is the potter, you and I is the clay. Oh, there is not one broken vessel, not one broken vessel that God can't mend. He will pick up your pieces time and times again, for there's not one broken vessel, not one broken vessel that God won't mend. Though the waters warm, this on the stormy sea, now will with you. the stormy sea. Though the ship may be swirling and the sea may be torn, in the vessel he'll do it for you. For there's a cloud, da, 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 da. I'd rather have Jesus than anything this world affords today. Like a friend on a stormy sea, said I'd rather have Jesus than anything this world affords today. He's sweeter than the honey from heart of the cold. He's brighter than the sunshine. Said I'd rather have Jesus than his name printed. Though ship may be raging and the sea may be torn, the light of the Savior will lead me safely through the night. Over the thick and the sea may be torn. I shall rest in the eye of the storm. So no matter what's happening, the thick may be through. The eyes of my Savior will lead me safely through the night. And the sea, oh, live, said I will rest in the high of this time. Good night, everyone. Good night to all of you who joined the live. For those that are on the sideline listening, good night. Good night to all the subscribers to the Positivity Positive channel. I thank you for subscribing. I welcome you to this another night of mixed talking and ideas. Tonight, we give God thanks regardless of your situation. Give Him thanks. Regardless where you are, give Him thanks. If you are in the Middle East where the war is going on and you are still on top of the earth, give him thanks. Because there are thousands that have lost their lives down there. It's a war and it seems to be intensifying. Right as we speak, they are supplies that are just barely going in. They are run out of water, food, and medication from other day. Things are just barely going in. You are on this side of the planet Earth. Give God thanks. Be grateful to Him. Be grateful for what you have. They say little is much when God is in it. You may not have an elephant to eat, but He said in His word, His children will never go begging bread, and He will never give a serpent for fish. Give Him thanks. Many is crying. If you see the TV air, people are crying. They don't know where their loved ones is. They don't know where their children is. Some is held under whatever circumstances. Some have lost their lives. So it is enough for us to give God thanks. It is going to affect the world, food wise and things, especially the smaller countries. You're going to be affected. But in spite of that, give God thanks. When you hear what is happening on the other side of the world, people are displaced. Even hospitals have been crumbled. Hospital. When you see the pictures, I don't know how many persons have been seen, but on this side, you are getting it actually live. Good night, and thank you. You're actually getting it live. Okay? So when you see what is really happening, hospital has been crumbled to the ground. Hospital. People have to be running for safety in many different places. These two countries and their two family, their two brothers. Now, Israel is thinking very hard to join the fight. Other countries are thinking. So, it doesn't seem there is any squashing down anytime soon. It doesn't seem so. On this other side of, we are torturing children, we are killing people, we are doing so many things. You have been taking money to really snuff the life out of even babies. Look, open your eyes and see what is happening. See what is happening. How well can we stand? So, for those people always say, oh, pray, pray. Hello. In turmoil like this, there's no prayer. You can't pray. So if you never used to pray, heap it up and put it down one side. That prayer will keep you There is no way. Even in your heart where you can pray secretly, you have to be running. You have to be looking for your children. You have to. Hello? The hear people said, oh my God, let us pray for them. We are praying. Our prayers reaching anywhere. Hmm? These are times when you don't know when it will knock up on our door. So these are times that we have to be focused. Focus. Keep your eyes on the hill. I look to the hill from whence cometh our help. Our help cometh from the Lord which made heaven and earth. So if any pray, all the prayer warrior on a prayer, keep it up because there are times that you are not able to pray. But you always been praying and putting it down someplace. So that will keep you. For those that mourn this evening, as I always said, blessed are those that mourn, for they shall be comforted. You're not going to be mourning all the days of your life. You are going to be comforted. Take him at his word. You will be comforted. Those that celebrated their birthday, we wish you all a happy birthday. We wish you the blessings of God upon your life, that your life will continue according to the plan of God. Love yourself, treat yourself, appreciate yourself as much as you can. Okay? So, it is no secret that God cannot do what He have done for others, He will do for us. Many of the time we forget that we have a supreme being. We have a creator, the giver of life. We forget until something strikes. Lord of mercy. Hear what? There was a man who decided to call on God at the moment when he wants to. And he prayed and he called, and the other one over on the other side said, hello, call a little louder. He seems to gone for a walk, or maybe he seems to be sleeping. There was a time when God shut off from Israel. There was a time when he has deafened his ears. Read it for yourself, it's there. I'm not reading from my handmiddle, I don't even have a book. But there was times when he stopped because people has gone too far. And we are looking at my born country. And sometimes I ask to myself the question, our behavior seems to be reaching the nostril of God. We have more churches than anywhere else. You actually can stay from one church and call somebody at the other church. Yeah. But you know what? Most of us get selfish and greedy. Selfish and greedy. And we have to look at these things. Do not look at it and say, oh, it is not in our area. It's not in our country. 80 was just actually 90 miles away from Jamaica. An earthquake, fire, every destruction and destructive things happen in Haiti. Well, we think that we are so much on the pedestal of God that He blink eyes and pass us because we are so good. Is there any good? No, not one. So let us, in our quiet moment, while there is actually, I wouldn't say peace, but peace so far, let us reach out for the unchanging hand of God. Let us prepare ourselves because we do not know what will strike at our doorsteps. We heard about people killing, we hear about all these things happening. Who had suspected that somebody would be looking into the eye of a 10 months old child and put a bullet in him? Who had suspected that? The heart of man is like stone. Yes, yes, children got children, children, family wiped away and all the rest of it. But who think at any given time that a human being would be looking into the eye of that child and pumped a bullet in the head, and on top of that put in three more? Who had suspected such? It happened. See it there? It does happen. It happened. Mhm. Where are we going? And how are we going? We are on a road to the road of destruction. A road that have no end and leads down to the pit of no return. This man will be seeing the face of that baby as long as he lives. If he is freed, he's going to be seeing that child. That child will be, um, they always say, a baby duppy or something about that. Yeah. This child is going to haunt him for the rest of his life. When he look into the eyes and the innocent face of that child, who think we heard about so many things happening So many places in this country, people go into schools and wipe out children and teacher and all the rest of it. But who were ever thinking of a 10-month schoolmate? Who? I wouldn't be thinking that way because you'd have said, well, then you would have take the baby and put aside and you do what you do with the adult. But ooh, is it that brutal? And we are going to see more of these things. More of these things is going to happen. So we would have said in the country now that the war is going on, nobody does spare. So 10 month, no month and all the rest, like nothing spare if you don't get away. We are an unruly set of people, very unruly. So expect everything, hope for the best, and expect the worst. God has not designed us to be like this. But the man has turned from the pathway of righteousness to a path a path of no return. While at the same time, let us look to the hills from whence cometh our help. There is so many things happening in and around. There's a song that says, the watchman seeth the danger and warn not the city. The blood will required to the watchman's shoulder. There are many preaching, many warnings. Take heed. Many is not doing that. Teachers are in the school are trying to tell the children to help grow them, to help to bring them into a pathway. But hear what happened. When they walk through that school door, they are gone straight into the parent that doesn't care a kick. Say anything, do anything. Hey, hey. At the end of the day, love is the answers. Love is the answer. Seek out our fellow man. If it's even a word for the day, a word in the moment, said a good word, said a kind word to them. Yeah. As I said before, there were one time when God shut off and his ears are going to be deafened to the cry, to our cry. If you see 20 people in the city, you will save the city. No, that 20 not there. Is there 10? No. Is there 5? No. So it be in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. Yes. The demons of hell overpowered his people. But guess what? It's not everybody. He have a selective few that will not bow. Though they went in the fiery furnace, they will not bow. How many fiery furnaces have you seen around you? Hmm? Many fiery furnaces. You have different gods. You have all the church of Satan. So many things. And you think it's animal going in there? No. You hear the name? And people put on and goes and go in there. Of course. Mhm. They are so segregated. So segregated. So far gone. You have some will say, no, tell me nothing about church. Of course, you think it was some saint left out the door and going to church? No. And they went in there with their same behavior. They haven't changed no way. And Saturday they are holy and sanctimonious, walking into the church of God, sitting in the pew. And Sundays, oh yes, we put on our Sunday best. But you have never asked the person beside you, how are you? And Saturdays, you'll see old influential persons. But the one who is less fortunate is never asked, are you okay? No, I'm not so okay, yeah? Okay, I have brought this for you. Now there was something. When I was a Christian, hey, couldn't be more Christian more than me. Mm-mm. Because if God did step down me supper, oh, you think me miss the calling? Me gone, man. Me gone. I was sitting in church and a pastor was leaving, so they were planning to give him a little token and plan all the things that he should have get and all the rest of it. So I sat there and I send around paper, you sign, you put on your name on it, um, and beside it, there's so well then, how much person. So when the paper came to me, I pass it over me and go to the other person. Of course, it was in the choir. So when they check out all who were sitting in the choir loft, one name has been missing, and it was no other than yours truly. So they asked me, so you're not writing? I said, no, no. So that was taken up with me outside. So why? Because Pastor so and so has been here and and so when I sat in church and I look at how many people sitting in here that don't have a week's dinner, and him can find him dinner every day. Dinner for throw. Why would I get up? Because who is going to buy this? Who is going to do this? Who is going to do this? And da, 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 and your name is going to be putting on the and da, da, da. I don't want my name there. The money that I am going to use to give to him. Remember who he came and saw, and he is leaving. He is leaving them in the same state that he came and saw them. Somebody there with window of a use piece of board slash across the window and blah blah. They may ever call and say, okay, make we put together and go put in the man window. No. I said I'd rather to give back to her. I'd rather to go to the supermarket and give the food to the needy person. Him no need it. He's getting paid. If they do a funeral, they get paid. If they do a wedding, they get paid. If you possibly carry a baby, if you bless the baby, they want to pay for it too. And if you still get up your money, you want to say crazy. So I didn't give any. One beloved sister took it up upon herself with me, and she decided to go with me. Until I am slighted for it. So look at this. I have my daughter going to school. Nobody ever asked me, how do you manage? You owe any school fee? Is there any, you get all the books? Is it up? No. Well, you're going to be upset with me. Until the incoming pastor, one day, he went to a different community to preach. And the people them pull up their best looking carrot, the best looking planting on the tree, the best looking banana, the cane, the coconut, the fruits of the land, and his car back was filled and overflowing. He came and he said, I'll look into the car back of some things. Yam, you name it. Nothing wasn't left from the bush provision. Sweet potato, name it. He get it. And they must say, well, some take out some. We can't take it out and leave, Pastor. We not gonna get any. So I said to one person, said, take out the things. I really don't need it. He is gonna take them to his yard and put them down. And they stay there and rot. I have never been to this man's yard. I don't know. I just look at it and that was what came to me. Before the weekend, the same person who was fussing with me about giving the pastor money and gift and what, sending him on and to his merry way, came back to me and said, you know, you was right. I said, right about what? I went down to Pastor X home and he have like a workman bench where they were working, so they haven't pulled down the thing. It's under a mango tree. And so when you see food pile up under there, plus that what he has just left with, the fresh one had to it, they were there spoiling. So I said to her, when you say I'm right, what you really mean? This man will get how much thousands dollars per month. His wife getting his wife is working, even his work as a pastor. He's getting wife allowance, children allowance, pastor allowance plus pay. You think I was gonna get up and give him on top of what he have while somebody else here need it? No. I give to the person who need it, not to the person who don't need it and who maybe you said want it. I don't give to those people. No, because they are not going to be treating those the poor people, the poor one, because that is how it put. The poor one can't even throw offering. And I look at you, you can't throw tithes. And I look at you because you not sow into the coffers. And she look at me, she say, you know, easy, you know. I say, no, sister. No. As long as you can afford it, I won't give to you. I will help the person who cannot afford it. The person who need it the most. Not the person who have it and throwing it away while somebody else is there needs. They don't want it, they need it. So we rest the case there, and she understand why I wasn't going to take my money, because at the same time there was somebody there who couldn't find some sugar to make a cup of tea. So I give my money there. So blessed are the poor in spirit, for they shall be called the children of God. Right? The rich man looked down upon the little poor one. The very scripture tell you, I speak it into a Proverbs here. The rich man have many friends. From him rich and have money. You look at all even the artists them. As soon as they put lift off the ground, everybody want to be their friend. They want to be in their company. But what it say about the poor man? He say even the neighbor hate him because he don't have nothing. It happened in the schoolroom. There are teachers that look up on a child the way they came to school. And from that, you can say, why them parents not have it? Bless. God bless the teacher or the teachers who see children in that way and reached out to them. Call them, love them, and give to them. God bless. But you have some, when you look on them and you say, women have it. They live poor. Yes, they may be in a pauperized position. But you know how many of those children came out to be leaders today? You know how much of them, when you look at them, some scorned them. But it worked out that many of those children You end up saying, yes, sir, no, sir. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. God work out a way for them. It's not the going up, it's the coming down. Where you're going to pass the one that you neglect and slight on your way. Okay? So, looking out for each other, helping each other should be our duty. Should be something that nobody have to say, well then, okay. If you can find if you can find $2 and you can split that $2 and give somebody one, God bless you. Sometimes the things that work out for you, you're asking the question. Then, then, and when you give it with love. And when you give it, you don't go and tell your neighbor about it. You don't go meet that somebody friend out there and say, you know, so well then, me did that, I made the game. No, you don't do that. When you give harms, you don't shake no bell, the bell say you don't shake, you don't ring any cymbal. Symbol of the two something where you knock so. Not tambourine, cymbal, two, right? They say you don't ring no cymbal. You don't call no company that you're gonna put it up. Oh yes. Many persons have been doing things, helping other ones, and no one know about it. He said, what you do in secret, he will reveal you openly. He will bless you openly. Sometimes it's not you, but who follows after you? Your children. Somebody in your circle. Somebody from the family. Yes. But you give it with a willing heart. You give it without murmuring. When you give, you give. And that's it. When I give, I don't even want anybody to even remind me about it. Because when I give, that's it. So don't come to me and say, you remember when you did. Don't do it. I don't like it. It laid upon me to give you, and I give it to you, and that's it. Yeah. So we have children, we have the elderly ones. I was working into an institution, and 3/4 of the 400 and brought a 500 resident that was there. 3/4 of it was men. And even each time you look, you see the mistakes that men have made. So many stupid mistakes because they are going after something that every day it comes. It's there. 3/4 of those persons in the institution. Some, when you ask, you sit and reason with them. So and so. Some of them get their children, and from the lady say, I feel bad. You say, I wonder if I breed, I breed. And when she find out, say, yes, it's breed me, I breed. he disappear with somebody else. And that child born, and that child grow, and when that child reach to where it reach, and point out that child and say, oh, that's my son. And I speak of a certain resident was in that institution, and there is a prominent football player that travel wide. And I was reasoning with him. He gave me a number and said to call him. I said, you sure if that guy is your son? He said yes. But to be truthful to you, from the mother said, I don't feel well. There were so many girls out there, so many glitter and glamour out there. And he never looked on that child. And the mother with that child, when he heard the name, then the guy start playing for Jamaica and played it up. He said, but I'm a son that. And he get information from different port. He said yes. When contact was made with that young man, he said in year, said father, he never seen yet. Yet he was in this institution, wanted help from this young man. He found out where the mother lived. I even asked him, I said, you remember what the mother looked like? Because if you step away and gone, and all he was with, he end up on the government purse. He end up into an institution with nothing. And he wanted that young man. When they're having thing there, he would have his radio on and he listen, and every time he hear him calling the name, yes, that man. And the guy look like him, but you. And when somebody contacted, I called, I didn't get him, but somebody else called, and what him say a year. And I said, come and look for him. Him don't know how to come and look for him, because what is he going to say to him? Because what he have in their heart to say to him, perhaps as he open him out, say, might I just keel over. He sent some pampers for him one time. It was dropped off at the institution with his name on there. And he never show his face to that man. So most of the time, some of the people, they live a reckless life, very reckless, because they thought they are hurting the child and hurting the mother. Yes, they do. But God always stand by. He said he is there for the widow and the fatherless. A man that refuses to look after their children, yeah, millstone should have hung around their neck and carry them into the deepest part of the sea to put them down. Because what? There comes a day you will have the children too, and you put out everything that they said. You take out your tribe and put dry trash in there for them, And at the end of the day, you are not qualified to be their father or their mother. This lady walked out of her son's house, and the son is a pastor for a prominent church. And the mother was at his house with him spending time. And he was getting ready to go to work. He was in the bathroom. The door knocked. The lady answers the door. The well dressed, put together man in a good caliber. So she said, well, then, yes, so be with you. She let him know somebody's outside to him and said, okay. When he went to the door, opened his door, the person came in into a sitting hall. And the person was daring to ask him, who is that lady? He said, it's his helper. He said, is his helper, is his mother, his birth mother. But you are no longer qualified to be his mother. Whatever condition she was in, she's not up there. So is his helper. Because you look for the worst person to be helpers in your house. So she is his helper. And he left for work. She could not believe her ears, what she heard. And he left for work. And she put her two little things together. And she left a note on the table. Remember who used to wipe your nose for you. Remember when you couldn't even talk. Remember when don't forget your mother and your father. Mm-hmm. And she left that note for him. And she went. And she said to me, I will never go back to his house. He is ashamed of his mother, who is cleaning up the house, cooking his food. He says, my helper. And I knew quite a few. I knew quite a few. This lady, she is in crying with her daughter. So sometimes, yes, the pendulum swings both ways. You do your best for them. You eat nothing and wear nothing. You took the blow for them. And when they start climbing the ladder of success, and they turn around and look down there, and the first thing came out of their mouth, I wasn't asked to be born. I never asked to be born. They have nothing to do with their parents. So sometimes when you see many sufferers, many suffer before their eyes close, these are the things that happen. some never care for their children, not a bit. And those who care for their children sometimes is strangers. When this lady was in the hospital, and she was a cheerful person. She was vision impaired, but very cheerful. If she called for something and you take it, when you go to her bedside, you have to laugh. She ever says something that you have to laugh. And one day, I said to her, call her by her name. I said, you don't have any children. She said, children? Me have 6 of them. She said the last one, her husband died when the last one was 3 months old. And she said, I don't want anybody to come disadvantage me pitney them. And I can't piece my weed for grow my children them. And she could name the job where each one in, except for the last one. The last one is a boy. He was doing him like a selling them the oranges. Right as I was talking to him, the little young man came. It was visiting time, yeah? And he came in and he brought one orange and give it to her. And she was there and she was counseling him, counseling him, company and and work and all what a mother or a parent would have to their child. And he spent a good little while with her. And when he left, she called and she said, the baby one that he named so and so. He carry one orange come give me and she hold up the one orange and she said, God bless him. And she have the orange for about 2 days before she get to eat the orange. The Sunday following that, a nice tip-top lady came to the back door. I was going down, actually reach her bed. And I saw the lady peeping, tip up and looking over. So politely I asked her if there's someone she's looking for. And she said, yes. Low tone. And she called the name of the person. I didn't know who she was. I didn't ask her. And I said to her, here is her bed. She said, oh, oh, oh. I said, you're coming in to speak with her? She said, no, 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 no. So I went back up to the nurse's station and I said to the nurse at the station, said, there is a lady came from the back door. And I told her, and the nurse came down and went out on the veranda. And I saw the lady going into her car. She did not came in and say hi to the person she asked for. So nurse called her name and said, so a nice lady came looking. She said, she brown? I said, yes. And that she asked her height and said, she said, my daughter, she is a top at a certain institution. And she said, imagine she come and she only a peep and she couldn't come in and say hello. You hear what I said that lady said she do? A key and pea she weed. And she could tell from the child going to basic school until it went to primary school, until it reached high school, until it reached the child reached to University of the West Indies. At the time, it was the lady's niece looking after her. And I don't know, she didn't realize that something was wrong with her eye. It didn't took her. Well, anyhow, when the niece took her, she actually lost her sight. And the niece took her to the hospital, get her registered. And when her name called to go and see the doctor, the niece was nowhere around. The niece leave her there. And that was how she ended on the ward. And she lives on the ward. Now she have six. She said, six of them. And she tell where everyone works. And she end up living in the hospital. She said, I never take no man from my husband dead. Me no want no man. I don't sleep with a man. When him dead, me said that is where it is. A seal and sign there, so. They never see a man come round me, neither out a door nor in a house. Because I say I don't want no man to take advantage of me pitney them. And she cries. She cried. And rightful as that, there's a man came from England. He happened to end on the male ward. And heard the name. The staff said, what, all these two names, no? And they asked him, mention her name. He said, yes, is my aunt. Is my aunt. And although he was to stay in his bed, he said, Carrie, let me go see her. That woman, as she grew her children them on her own and she grew me. And there's no little money me send, can give the niece to look after her. And when he heard the story, what even niece did to her, they all sit at the bedside and they cry. He has to go back to his country, and he left a sum of money at the hospital and say if she should pass away, give her a funeral for me. So many parents do their best. And what did they get in return? I look at that lady and I use her as an example. Yeah. Because the young one who only have one orange to give her, he came with the one orange and give her. And the one who would give her thousands of oranges didn't even said hi to her. Can't make my colleagues say no say me mad at that. Because you eventually turn that, you know. You eventually turn that. Good. So I say all of that to say we are to be careful how we live our life. Be careful how we treat others. Because I tell you, it come back, pressed down, multiply. And you ask, then how so and so and how so and so. Think of how you treat others. Think of how your treatment to others. My number is on the screen. Nobody calls. But anyhow, I know somebody heard. Nobody have any input. Nobody. Okay. Anyhow, these are my words. These are my content. I hope some persons who heard these, they can just look at these things and know that it is just not a one-sided thing. And especially the male. What you after and will spend money for out there, it is always going to be there. When you have lost balance, lost everything, sometimes the bank you went in, it is not a bank of withdrawal, it's a bank of deposit. You cannot get withdrawn. And to keep you off the street, the government have places where they put you. I have been to Canada, and it's only because they didn't say I can't take picture, but I didn't see it right to do it. When I go countries, there are things I went and look and find out. When you see the condition, they have their night shelter and they go in from about between 4 o'clock or something about that before they get their last meal. They get good meal. When daylight, they have to pack up them things out on the street, lingering all over the place. I have seen young persons there. Now sometimes they left and parents never hear from them, family don't hear, you don't know what is happening. Sometimes the life of where they live bring them to a position they can't even call you because they themselves need something, my dear. It was, I don't even know how to describe it. When you look at it, when you look at it, and some is not only from one country, because the notion you have a man and he will look after you, you only come to find out it don't go that way. They are where they're paying rent, it reached to that they can't pay rent, and they came there. Yes, they get good meal, the meal been funded, they have their cook things clean. I went in and I look and they say it's only ladies they want in there. At night, their mat have been rolled out, is on the floor. You are at a place of opportunity and you haven't make any good use of it. On the floor, they just roll out the little piece of tin mat and that's where they sleep. And they have to be sleeping with their suitcase, their bag, their whatever pack up beside them. I asked the question to myself, Lord, you allow me to go to some places and see some things, not what I was hoping for. So sometimes you hear say, why the pitney left from when and him can't call, send nothing come give me parent. If you see their situation, you would have cried your eyes out. Yeah. Government have places that they put some of them living wherever I happen to go in their place. The good survey of them, I did. But the only thing, and believe you me, I would not feel comfortable to video those things, to take it out. So I just use my eyes and I see it and it synchronizes it. So some have big pregnancy, have nowhere to go. And that's only a day shelter. You get people clean up the place while they're out and they give them clothes. They have their laundromat. They go downstairs, you have clothes to wash. You can wash your clothes. You do everything else except staying in there a day. You don't have no space in there at the day in the day. In the night, you have a space on the floor where you roll out your mat and sleep. When daylight, you pick up yourself, go bathroom, fix up yourself, and tell you what, they have certain hours to do that. You have to be out of the building by certain hours. So it's not that just get up and you linger in there and you be here. No. If you cannot save people, save coin. Okay? When you have somewhere for yourself, somebody will come there and go look up there. I mean, I think it the proverb last night is said, if a man hold and don't have no friend, forget, I'll have a look what him say that person is. You must have one friend. Yeah. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't actually set something, but as I said, mixed talk and ideas. I thank you all for those that on the sideline that listens, for those that tune in onto the channel and listen to me. I would glad if someone would have called in, but no one called in. Not even my manager called him to put in the other input. But I thank you very much. I thank you. I thank you. And be cognizant of your surrounding. Be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. It's a redeem the time because the days are evil. So be cognizant of who your surrounding is, where you go, how you go. If you don't have to be out, stay in. Okay? So thank you all. Thank you and join me on another time when I hope on another time I will have company to talk with. Miss Mel didn't even call in and say and share. Miss Mel? Yeah. But thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Subscribe, share, like. Help me to grow this channel as I go from day to day. Thank you very much. Thank you. And this is Aquarian tuning out Positivity Positive channel. We will speak another time. Come with your ideas, come with your suggestions.